Today's session is on innovation and entrepreneurship. Um, if I talk about the flow of content that we will be going through today, will be is right from the beginning. We will be talking about three interconnected topics: entrepreneurship, creativity, innovation. Then I'll brief something about world's most innovative companies and what they are doing. We'll do a self-discovery as well as delivery skill test, wherein I would like to analyze yourself because I had sent a pre-read material was already been given to you. So through this, we will actually have a very interactive session where I'll understand which one of you are more. Are you a self-discovery person or are you a delivery skill set person? We'll then move on to opportunity analysis canvas, which is again a very beautiful canvas to whenever you talk about business idea generation. Then we'll talk about business models, and then we'll talk about the entire course of innovation and entrepreneurship, how our approach for the courses, and as well as the entire outline of course I will take upon. So I'll start with, let me just see what is the chat. Yeah, morning everyone, morning once again. So we start on with three interconnected topics, that is entrepreneurship, creativity, and innovations. And in that, we will be first taking up with creativity. So when we talk of creativity, we want to think about a way of generating ideas which results in improved efficiency as well as effectiveness of a program, of a system. So you come up with more comfortable products, you come up with better products, you come up with competitive products. So this is all when is needed whenever we are talking of creativity. Now, for creativity, how do you actually come up with creative products? For this, either you can have come up with a process. So whenever we talk of process, there are applied tools and techniques which are there in business as well as management, which will help you to find out creative solutions to a particular problem. Then the second approach could be if we are talking about people. So you may have many friends, you may have founders, and they are the people who always come up with innovative ideas, innovative new concepts. So if you take them on board, then you are actually getting access to creative ideas as well. So yes. So, like any other skill, creativity is basically an acquired skill, and it's just like muscles. So, if we talk about human muscles, so we feed them by protein powder, we feed them, we do exercise, we do trainings, and just like muscles, so muscles to develop muscles, you need exercise. In similar way, for creativity gets better with more practice you actually do. And to actually, whenever the topic of creativity comes in mind, this is the picture which is always there in my mind, and this is something which I would even ask you, like you are all, the video, the screen is very much clear to you. What is it telling? Just tell me, like, what is the first thought that comes in your mind whenever you see this thought, this screen? I'll stop sharing. I'll once again share the screen. Yes. So I'm giving you 1 or 2 minutes. What is the thought that is coming in your mind when you see the screen? Anyone? What is this picture talking about? How many participants do we have? Let me just check. Someone is raising their hand. Okay. Malik bhai, can we unmute Fred?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, please unmute your mic.
Yes, Fred. Fred, you need to unmute yourself if you want to say something. Yeah.
Hello,
Hi.
mon- morning. That picture,
Hmm.
it's like that guy was very creative, and even in the business, we need creative people.
Correct. And what was the thought that came into your mind when you saw that picture? Where was his head?
What it comes into my mind, it's like why it seems like carrying something on his head, yet it is pulling something which is very heavy, and
Correct.
yeah, and it seems
Hmm.
that thing is pulling is very heavy compared to what is on his head.
Absolutely right. Why not? Can we have one more? Thank you, Fred. So Fred thought, thank you, Fred, so much. We can unmute him, Malik bhai. So, so Fred is thinking someone which is having a huge set of weight on his head. He's actually, there is a huge set. He's trying to go somewhere and something else is actually pulling him downwards. Um, what else? What else did you think about joining? Okay, we have Izanes. In the Izanis can be unmuted, Malik bhai? Yes.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
Yes, now in that photo, I can see a mantra trying to discover something new.
Mhm.
Uh, there is a mixture of gravitational force, is trying to discover.
Mhm.
Uh, that photo, there is a load on his legs trying to pull him down, and then a rope attached to him. Meaning he's trying to discover something new.
Absolutely. Very nice. Beautifully comprehended. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you, Malik bhai, for unmuting him as well. So yeah, actually, it was very interesting because there are two things. So one thing which photo is saying is like head is in the clouds and his toes is in the ground. So there are two things whenever we talk of creativity. First thing is discovering of new ideas, new concepts, new products, new services. But it's not just discovering. The second most important thing which comes whenever we talk of creativity is implementation of those ideas into product, and finally you should be benefited out of it in terms of a commercial success. So that becomes very much important. Those are the two important things which comes whenever we talk of creativity. um, yes. So even Da Vinci, I guess every one of you must be knowing who Da Vinci is. So Da Vinci had a number of great ideas. So he wrote an entire notebook when there where there were so many inventions. He invented. He had drawings of submarines, airplanes, helicopters, parachutes, and whatnot. So there were people who took the drawing of parachute, and it took them 500 years to actually invent that parachute. Do you think you have 500 years of time to invent something? No, right? So in case of whenever you are coming up with new ideas, delivery as well as implementation of new ideas should equally be taken care of. um, there is one very beautiful quote. There's just one experience which I would like to share with you, because I'm heading the Center for Entrepreneurship. So we regularly conduct a number of workshops at our Ganpat University, wherein we meet. There are a number of product ideas which students come forward. So during this COVID times, I can't name the student. There was one student who came. He shared his entrepreneurial journey of last 2 months. So he talked to me, madam. They were just college pass outs, right? I guess final year students, they were there. So he talked, madam, we came up with disinfectant tunnels. So those are basically the tunnels under which you'll pass, and the disinfectant sprays are basically coming all over your body. So this was his product which he was trying to launch it in the market. So he had tried, when he first tried to launch it in the market, it was 5,000 INR. So 5,000 INR is somewhere in Ugandan shillings is 247,000 around Ugandan shillings. So that was the price where he started. So when he came up with the market, he actually saw the tunnels were actually being sold at 12,000 to 4,000. So he was quoting a price of 50,000. Sorry, I said 5,000. It's basically 50,000. So he was quoting 50,000 for that tunnel. And however, in the market, they were being available at a price of 12,000 to just 14,000. So it didn't work. So next he came up with sanitizers, dispenser sanitizers in form of aerosol sprays. So that is what it is. Like, you have a lot of ideas in your mind, but by the time you implement it, sometimes your ideas change, sometimes the entire products change, and sometimes you just need to understand what the market currently is actually prevailing. Okay. So we move on towards next slide. That is nature of creative process. So as I said, creativity is something wherein it's a process. So it could be developed through various tests as well as practice, and it could be improved as well. And a typical creative process has a number of phases. So if we have 4 phases, so phase 1 talks about having a proper background and knowledge accumulations. Phase 2 allows you, wherein you incubate yourself with all the ideas that is coming in your mind at that particular point. Phase 3 comes wherein those ideas are actually being experimented. So you experiment your ideas with a pilot set of customers, or maybe a chunk of customers. You just experimented with them, which is also known as pivot study or pilot study we talk about. And then is phase 4, that is wherein you evaluate your product, wherein if you have any changes in the product, if you want to change in the price, or if you want to change the product as such, or if you want to change the channel distribution or the place where you're promoting, so that you can do. And then finally implementation of the product. So this is basically typically how the entire creative process goes. Okay. This is another very interesting topic that comes up. That is, again, 3 interconnected topics. I'm sure you must have heard about it: creativity, invention, and innovation. A lot of it is being used these days because a number of products are coming, a number of services are coming, a number of processes are coming, which are actually showing creativity, inventions, and finally innovations. So if we talk about only creativity, creativity is basically, as you can see, these are act of channeling imaginations into something that is concrete. For example, Uber. Right, so we all have in Uganda, we have Uber Chap Chap, right? So Uber had the creative concept of coming up with ride sharing at that time, when it had initially, which was the founder of the Uber, Travis, when he came up with that idea. So his idea was just the concept of ride sharing. So it could be economical to the passengers. Similarly, if there is one more example, if I can quote, that is of Google Glass. So in case of Google Glass, the idea is, I understand that most of you must be knowing what is Google Glass. So those are basically smart glasses, and the concept of it was very creative, but how much innovative it was or it is still a question mark. We next move on to invention, and in case of inventions are basically physical creation of those ideas and concepts. So whenever we talk of invention here, we are talking of product designing, we are talking about product prototypings, then we are talking of business models. So if I'm taking of the similar example, earlier example of Uber channeled invention by creating solid business models, which was based on its own creative ideas, right? And then the third point actually comes, that is innovation. So innovation is something that is successful exploitation of ideas, which finally would lead to a commercial success and widespread use. So innovation, I will eventually even talk about world's most innovative companies in the upcoming slides as well. And whenever innovation comes in my mind, there are few of the companies which always, you can even jot it down and you can see the kind of products which they have been manufacturing last 5 years, or the kind of innovations that they have been coming up last 5 or 6 years, or just take a decade for an instance. You'll be able to get it properly. As far as product innovation, you can go through for products like LG. In case of flat screen TVs, then you can talk about Apple phones, Apple all products. In case of radical innovations, you can search for products as Amazon. So it's basically a service. So just see the kind of services Amazon has been evolving last few years. As well as Salesforce. So Salesforce is basically a CRM based app, marketing service provider, and you should just see the kind of services that they are providing in case of cloud computing. So that is why majority of companies, many of the multinational companies, are basically using Salesforce as their CRM tool. So, and whenever I talk of process innovation, one company that always comes into my mind is Zara. So Zara is basically it is a beautiful company. Whenever one talks about process innovations, it never needed any advertisements. The process which it is innovating is like it quickly responds to its market demands, and basically its process, the entire process is its supply chain management and its innovative techniques are being in such a way it's been articulated. Like whenever we talk of Zara linings, so it never has any inventory. It has no inventory of clothing linings. So for example, in beginning of the season, it has inventory of just 15%, and then according to the customer's needs, it changes its line completely. So it's very much of a customer centric clothing linings. Fashion linings is whenever it comes into my mind of process innovation. So if I see, so these three are basically creativity, invention, and innovation. Okay. And in case of innovation, so if I'm talking about theoretical definitions of innovation, this includes, these are according to different references which I have added. The act of introducing something new to a new idea, could be a method, could be a device. Then, according to Department of Trade and Industry, it is the successful exploitation of ideas. According to the Peter Drucker, management guru, changes that creates a new dimension of performance. But whenever I talk of innovation, I see it as more as how much of idea is being commercialized. So how much successfully you are being able to commercialize those ideas is something whenever innovation is actually being referred to. So I just want you to see this graph for 1 minute, get through with all the names of the companies which you can see. Just take a minute and have a look on this entire graph. So there are two graphs on world's most innovative companies. I give you 1 or 2 minutes to absorb the entire slide. Yes, so there are 50. So on the right hand side, if you are seeing, so both of the slides are basically represented by consultancy firm. On left side, there is the consultancy firm's graph, which we are using is Statista, and it's 2019 data. And on the right hand side, it is BCG consultancy firm. So there are companies including IBM, Samsung, Microsoft, Intel, LG I talked about, Apple, again I talked about, Ford, Amazon, Hawaii Technologies. And these are the companies who have they have been ranked in the number of patents that they have been granted. And on the right hand side, it is according to Boston Consultancy Service. There are 50 companies. Few of them I would like to quote: Google, Amazon is coming again, Apple is coming again, Microsoft, Samsung, Netflix, IBM, Facebook, Tesla, Adidas. Now, again, whenever we talk of innovation, it is not necessary only a startup does innovations. There are big, so if you could see, most of them are multinational giant companies. And their firms are actually they are coming up with new innovative products. And they have been ranked in order that the revenue, the percentage of revenue that company is coming up, that is actually coming up with the new products that every year they come up with. So, yes. And then I will talk about two companies. The next two slides talks about two more companies, which is very interesting. And again, I'll make the session interactive. Let me do that. Yes. So on your screen, you are able to see the headquarters of Google, Mountain View, right? So why is this, does this look like an office to you? Why is there sleeping pods? Why are there pool tables? Why are there so many colors added in a normal office setup? Let me just stop my share screen and let us take it in a discussion mode. Yes. So we can have Umar. Yeah, Malik bhai, can we just unmute Umar? Umar, you need to unmute yourself. On your screen, there will be a mute and unmute option. You have to unmute yourself. Okay, I guess you are not able to do, not a problem. Fred is already there. Malik bhai, can we have one more? Fred. No, we can take Noah. Yeah, please take Noah.
Okay, thank you. When I see that work environment, a statement which comes to my mind is work without play makes Tom a dull boy.
Okay. And what thought does it come? Don't you feel the office, how can an office be so much colorful? How can an office have a pool table?
It triggers the colors, the whole environment triggers, it widens one's idea, it makes one ideate a lot while they are working. It's not a dull environment. You can imagine a lot of ideas. The environment triggers a lot of ideas while you are working.
Nice. So Noah actually told vibrant colors are very much relevant to triggering of new ideas. Unlike dull colors, they don't trigger new ideas. Noted. Thank you, Noah. We can take one more. Emmanuel. Yeah, we can take for Emmanuel. Malik bhai.
Yes, madam.
Maybe for gender balance purposes, you can pick a lady. I saw a lady there, Lillian or something.
Yes. So you'll have to assist me to pick up. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, maybe she's
Yes,
off.
hello?
She put her hand down. Yeah.
Yeah, hello?
Yes.
Hello, Remy?
Yeah.
Yes. Now that kind of working environment, I would think it promotes after work you can have better relaxation and share ideas while playing pool table, so that you develop more to innovate. Maybe so you can, as a company, get reflection of ideas, reviewing what you've done and what you should be doing while playing, pool table. So it creates okay, it promotes creativity while you're playing.
Yes.
So it develops minds.
Correct.
The working environment attracts mind exchange, ideas.
Very nice. Truly quoted. Even Fred Cassirer is saying, I have seen, so he has seen similar environment here, and they help members to think freely even while at work. So through games, we get many ideas and teamwork. Yes, that is the reason why most of the multinational companies, they are doing the games kind of activities, teamwork. They occasionally do activities of teamwork, of gamings, so that everyone are being bonded and they come up with new ideas. Emmy is saying, I think creativity, yes, why not? Definitely it leads to creativity. And if I say, it's like it's been seen that feelings are being invoked. So whenever there is feeling provokes innovation. That is the reason why there are so many colors. So whenever there are colors, there is something out of box setup, somewhere your heart gets excited because it is having feelings, and these feelings which actually lead to innovation. Let me share one more screen. I'm be talking, the next screen will be talking about IDEO. I think if you have not heard about it, you can even search what IDEO is. It's basically a design company. Yeah. And yes. So this is IDEO. IDEO is basically a product design company, again in Silicon Valley. Okay, and it is responsible for designing a number of products, be it in food and beverages, agricultural sector, pharmaceutical sectors. So Eli Lilly is one of the company IDEO has worked with. Apple is one of the company IDEO has worked with. VPAD is one of the company IDEO has worked for. And but what IDEO is basically known for comes in the next slide. Yes, this. So this is the office of IDEO. IDEO is basically known for its design thinking way of doing things. So that if you can see the left bottom picture wherein you are having cycles on the ceiling, that is basically the Palo Alto hub. It is named after their founder of IDEO, and they are responsible for having a number of product designs for a number of companies. Yes. So again, bit of interaction. Let me take. And just let me see the chats. So Noah is saying a colorful environment creates a relaxed mind. Yes, and that too triggers creativity. Work time can be stressful if it's not planned. Google's head office is designed to reduce that stress. Even I've shown you the similar office structure of IDEO as well. So there comes my next question. That is, why are there cubicles in office? So you see workplaces having cubicles. Why do you think office places have cubicles? Any idea? Any vague guess? Any thought that comes in your mind? Why are there cubicles? Okay, so we take Ben Alex. Ben, you just need to unmute yourself. The instruction goes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I guess cubicles are there just to ensure privacy of each section of the office.
Okay.
Yes, I guess.
To provide privacy. So who creates cubicles? Is it, are cubicles are being created for as a request of employees or employers?
Cubicles are created for the employees. For
the employees, okay. And it's been created, okay, and it's been created by management?
Yes, I guess by the management.
Why would they care of their privacy? Everything is authority known, everything they have to submit, either through mails, through meetings. Then why would they care of privacy? Privacy is something that comes from employee point of view. However, if cubicles are being created from management point of view, then what is the thought that management has?
I guess the privacy in form of how can I bring it?
Okay, so
It's kind of it's a broad question, but how I can term it to you is it's like if you don't have enough privacy when you're working, it limits you to some point of work. But if you got privacy, then it makes you like it brings up your self incentive whereby you can do more
okay, taken.
by your own mind. Like
So I'm buying your point. I'm totally buying your point that there is privacy. This is first. Second point, if I see in the chat room, thank you, Ben, for coming up. Then we are having from Mukhesa, I think cubicles are easily accessible. Okay, second point is accessibility. Third point is embracing open door policies. Brick and mortar are characterized by a lot of under the table deals. So it's like embracing open policies as in this ensures transparency of the entire system. Yes, absolutely. And you can't do your job with distractions. Helps to, I guess Brianna has rightly quoted that cubicles were actually being created by management to monitor their employees so that their work is being done. You have an assurance that they are not coming late to office. Everything is transparent and open, which ensures transparency, as well as it also leads to more kind of focus at your own work. So this was what management used to think. But however, if you talk about there will be more number of peoples who are getting into the office, no, that is not the reason why cubicles were created. In fact, any multinational organization or any industry can actually leave their cubicle setup, and rather they can go for an office setup just like IDEO is having as well as Google is having, especially if those industries actually want product designing. If that company is a product designing company, or if that company wants to come up with new products, so this kind of office space works a lot. In India, there is a culture of co-working space, which is very much prominent in case of startups. So the co-working space is basically wherein all the startup students, they share. So there it's been provided on rentals. So they share their office spaces. An entire trend is there that the co-working space is just beautifully been designed with vibrant colors, just I had shown you in both the cases of company IDEO and Google. It's very much similar. This helps them to come up with new ideas, work a lot on those ideas with their passion, as well as interact, as well as it gives, since it is open, it gives networking opportunities for different people to interact and come up with the solutions where they are actually having problems. Okay. But now again, so if I'm seeing in case of chat, let me just check. Virtual workforce increases issue now is productivity and not activities. Absolutely true. This thing has been changed. If we talk about now people are focusing more on how can you increase the productivity from work from home environment. But that, I guess, it will lead to another session of mine. How do I enhance employability as well as productivity in work from home, which is I guess it's getting a bit deviated from the topic of creativity and innovation, which today I'm talking about. Okay, I move forward. Let me share my screen. Yes. Again, something new. So again, an exercise. I have shared with you a pre-read material, I want every one of you to open that PDF file. So this is a self-discovery and delivery skill test. It was in a book of Innovators Dilemma. It consists of 20 questions. Let me just open it up for you here also. And I have given this. So this I have already shared. I hope everyone is having this PDF with you. You can take it from the group, WhatsApp group. You can just download it. We'll do this activity. It will take 5 or 10 minutes it will take us to do. And this is like you are profiling your own skills. There are 20 questions. If you see, in total, there are total 20 questions. So I'm just taking one example. So frequently, so the first question is like, frequently my ideas or perspectives diverge radically from others' perspectives. So do you think your ideas are different from that of others' ideas? If you strongly disagree, no. You think the same, whatever the entire crowd is thinking, your ideas goes with similarly like your friends, then you have to click 1. Then if you are strongly agreeing, no, my ideas are very different from that of others, most of them says that you are an out-of-box thinker, then you have to just 5. So how you will do this exercise, that also I'll tell you. Let me just share my video. In a notebook, just write 1 to 20, jot it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In front of first question, if I'm thinking, okay, my ideas are something different from that of other ideas, I'm agreeing to that, but I'm somewhat agreeing, I'm not strongly agreeing. So in front of 1, I'm just writing 4. In front of 1, I'm just writing 4. That's it. So like that, you do it for all the 20 questions. In case you have any doubt in the questions, just raise your hand, write it down in the chat. I will answer individually all the questions. It's a 10 minutes exercise. Do it. So you have to write down. So, okay, one's answer is 4. 2's answer is 1, 2, 3, whatever you feel right. Everyone needs to open that PDF, which I have already forwarded. There are total 20 questions. You will be analyzing yourself in these 20 questions. And if you have any doubt in any number of questions, just tell me. I'll just see if they are having. Emmanuel, in this activity, I won't be unmuting you. If there is any question, just write it down in the question section which you are having. So suppose you are not able to understand question number 2, just write down question number 2. I'll explain it to you. Question number 3, okay. Let me share my screen once again. Yeah, so question number 3 is, I regularly ask questions that challenges my status quo. Status quo is something which the society has laid norms for you. For example, if I am a girl, then I can't go outside outside my place at night. So do I challenge that? Do I go outside in the night? Do I challenge the rules which are being laid down by the society? If I don't challenge the status quo or the rules which is laid down by my society, I will write 1. 1 is my answer. If I regularly challenge the rules which has been laid down by society, 5 is your answer. I hope it's solved. I'm seeing hand raise of Umar, Izanis, and Fred. So all the 3 of you, if you're having any doubt in the questions, just write down the question number. Or you can write down your questions in the doubt in the question section. Okay, I'll have to take you. Okay, Kindly unmute Umar. We'll check it. Malik bhai, Umar ne please unmute.
Unmute, yeah. Umar को.
Is he able to
Please.
speak? Umar, you'll have to unmute yourself if you want to speak. Then I guess there is some technical problem only. Not a problem. Band kare to. Okay, any more chats? This will take some time. I'm giving you 5 more minutes. So there are 20 questions, and then I'll tell you what to do with the numbers. This is something you are doing for yourself. It's not at all for me. This is your profile that will come. Can you please repeat it for us? Okay, I'll repeat it. I have forwarded you a PDF, right? That is in the WhatsApp group, which looks like this, which is there on the screen. This is a set of 20 questions, which you have to solve it for your own self. You have to ask this thing for yourself. So, for example, suppose the second question is saying, I am very careful to avoid any mistakes in my work. So, am I the kind of person who is very careful in nature? So if I'm not at all careful, if I'm careless, I do whatever comes into my mind, I don't think anything, then it becomes strongly disagree. Then you have to write down 1. If you agree to it, okay, yes, I am very much careful about whatever mistakes I make in the work, then it becomes 5. So take a pen and paper, you just write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and like that 20, and in front of it, whatever number you are assessing to yourself, that you have to down. Finally, at the end of 20 questions, you will have to add. Now, what you have to add, that I'll say. If you are through with it, then just raise your hand. Because I know some of them are very intelligent and they'll be doing everything at a go. And if you are through with all the 20 questions, then what you have to do is add all the odd number items. So just add whatever number you have given to odd numbers. So for first question, how much marks you have given yourself? 1, 2, 3, whatever it is, you just need to add your odd number items on one side. And on another side, you need to add your even number items. So the addition of odd number will reflect your discovery skills. The addition of even numbers will reflect your delivery skills. If you are through with it, then just raise your hand. And if you are not able to understand any question, write it down in the question box. Okay. So we are coming up with the answers as well. Okay, I'll once again tell the entire process. It's very interesting. And how do you do this? That also I'll explain, because I'm just seeing the group. Some of them are having a little bit of doubt, let us just say. Let me share my video as well. This is notebook. Everyone is having a pen. Everyone is having. Okay. We start with just write down 1 to 20, because there are 20 set of questions. Fine. I hope everything is clear. Okay. So the first question which comes is, like, frequently in my mind, ideas are different as well as radically different from that of other ideas. So that means, do I think something different from that of others? Yes, I do think something. My ideas are very much different from that of others. Then if you see it on the screen, I will write down 5. I strongly agree to that particular point. So my first question's answer becomes 5 in this case, right? And similarly, I will fill up all the questions answer. So answer is nothing but you are just strongly agreeing to that particular point, or you are strongly disagreeing to that particular point. And for those who have done all the 20 questions, they have to add the odd number questions. So 1, 3, 5, 7, just add all them, put it aside. Just add all even questions, put it aside. And if you are done, just raise your hands. So this is what you have to do. Add your scores on odd number items, and then you add your scores on even number items. Are we having something on chat? Let me just see. So Raj is saying 17. What is 17? Is it the odd number discovery skills, or is it delivery skills that is 17? That you have to mention. And how many participants have raised their hand? Isa. So Isa, are you through with it? Ben Alex is also through with it. So we can take Isa. Isa, what is your discovery skills? Yes, Maulik bhai, we can unmute Isa.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
My odd numbers total is 18.
18.
And my even number is 2.
Your discovery skills is? Odd numbers is how many?
Odd numbers are 18.
18. Okay. And what is even numbers total?
Even number total is 2.
2. Have you filled all the questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Let us take some more. Okay, we'll analyze. Wait, I need some more responses. Next, Ben Alex. Maulik bhai, you can mute him, and then we can go to Ben Alex. Yes.
Hi, how are you? Before we go any further, just pardon me on the calculation. I wasn't so attentive on calculation. What did you say we have to add up? Are we supposed to add the answers or the questions?
You are supposed to add the answers.
Okay.
Yes. So suppose your first question's answer is 5. So 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus whatever the answers are, you will add.
So all the answers that I got, I must add them up.
Yes. 2 odd questions. So odd questions answer will be one side and even questions answer will be another side.
Probably you may clarify for him further that he needs to add the odd numbers separately and the even numbers separately. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
So then you need to do it yours. Okay. And then can we take of Sila? Yes. Malik bhai, we can unmute Sila.
Yes, ma'am. Unmute कर दिया है.
So I got 12
Thank you.
odd numbers and 8 even numbers.
Odd numbers is
Odd numbers 12.
12. Okay. And even numbers?
Even numbers I got 8.
8. I'm sure there is some mistake which is happening because numbers somehow. Okay, let us take some.
Let me just clarify on that to the
Yes.
participants. You are adding up figures that are related to the answers. For example, strongly agree is probably is 5. Probably disagree is 3. Probably something like that. Those are the figures you're adding. So you add this odd numbers, and you're not adding the numbers of the questions, but you're adding the answers, the figures that are related to the answers. Probably that creates some clarity.
Oh, in the chat also I'm having some response. Oh, lovely. This is of Emmanuel. I like to take up his odd number. So are 70. Wow. And even number is 24. So what does this shows, Emmanuel? You are a person who believes in delivering more rather than discovering. So whenever an assignment is given to you or a task is given to you, you will be the person who delivers that particular task rather than coming up with new ways of how to do that particular task. If and only if you have done this correctly, or else the score is very nice. We can take off Mukisa. Okay, so Mukisa is having odd number 65 and even is 38. Oh, okay, 28. So Mukesa, it's like, had it been 38, then it would have been a very nice score because you would have been perfect in case of discovering with new ideas also and delivering with the delivery skills as well. However, in your case, discovering new ideas is less, that is 28, and your delivery is more. So new ideas will come less to you. You always focus on delivering or how do you complete a particular task that has been given to you. Okay. So we are having, so it's actually very interesting to know that this bunch of people who are having over here are having more, mainly their delivery skills are very high. However, discovery skills are actually low. I'm just seeing 3 of the students over here again. Lillian's having odd numbers is low, less than 17, but discovery skills is 58. So it's the same. It goes the same. So I guess students over here are more focusing on how to complete with their delivery skills which they have. And do we have, pardon me on Alex, I guess that has been done. Okay, so fine, I have already forwarded this PDF to you. If you further have any doubt, you can ask me whenever you want through my mail as well. And you can even ask your faculty concern. Professor Bill has, I guess he is very thorough with discovery as well as delivery skills. So Professor Bill can also assist you for the same. We move on further. Okay. Yes, this is so this is how we went. We started with creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship. We talked some concepts of invention, innovation, and creativity. Then we talked about world's most innovative companies and how are their headquarters, how their headquarters looks like. Then we talked about how do I profile ourselves, and wherein I did a test wherein I could understand your discovery skills as well as your delivery skills. The next set which we do in this webinar is opportunity analysis canvas. So whenever you talk of entrepreneurships, and whenever you talk, so there are many resources, there are many books, there are many workshops, there are many learning courses, and nowadays there are more and more universities who are feeling it's very important to come up with new ideas, innovative ideas, could be either disruptive, could be frugal innovations, because that is what is the need of our right now. That is, entrepreneurs is required for development of any economy. Now, to study entrepreneurship as such, the subject is very beautiful. This canvas is basically, whenever anyone talks about canvases, just keep this thing in mind. Canvas is model, just a business model. Okay, that is what canvas actually looks like. If you talk to an artist, canvas is somewhere where he paints his thoughts, his ideas. In similar way, opportunity analysis canvas is a place where entrepreneurs just paint their ideas. However, it's not so easy that it sounds. There are a number of things that are being involved and which we will be taking in this segment. So let me just turn off my video for better understanding. We can dismiss this question. Let me just, before beginning, let me just see any chat. So, okay, so this is similar. This is something related with previous question, which I would like to take of Izanis. To your Gauge, should we be having more of discovery skills or delivery skills? It's a very nice question. If you want to come up with new and innovative ideas, then having discovery skills are needed rather than delivering. But however, if you are looking forward for some employment opportunities, task-oriented jobs, manufacturing industries, or where a particular task has been given to you and you are doing it wonderfully, then in that case, your delivery skills will be increased. But then again, as I said before, creativity has two aspects. One is discovery, and again, another is delivery. So both of them, the actual answer to your question is both of them should always go hand in hand. So a moderate number, any number above 30 in both the cases will be perfectly fine. Okay, so we move on ahead, that is opportunity analysis canvas. And for doing this canvas, the main goal which I am having is like once student read, understand this canvas. So as such, let me just address you as well. So I've been conducting 1 day, 2 days, 3 days workshops on opportunity analysis canvas, business model canvas, and these canvases are something like we really talk with students their business ideas. We make students work on those business idea, develop their own entire canvas, and then student is able to understand, oh, this is the way what all I should think before starting my own business. So my goal for today, since it's a webinar, since it's an introduction, I will be touching upon the points that what our opportunity analysis canvas is all about, because right now we can go on, and then I will be talking about I want to develop your entrepreneurial mindset. Do you have this? The reason why I took this test was to develop your entrepreneurial mindsets. There are many tools and techniques which helps to develop an entrepreneurial mindsets as well as creativity. Second is I want to help you do your own opportunity analysis skill sets. And thirdly, I want you to understand what are the entrepreneurial opportunities which you are having at your own demographic areas, right? So with these three goals, let me share with you the opportunity analysis canvas. Yes, so the canvas looks like this. If someone wants to just take a note of it, I can give you I'll be giving you 2 minutes. Just absorb what the picture is there in front of you. If you want to write it down somewhere, you can write it down. If you want to make a note of it, just make a note of it. I'm giving you 2 minutes to immerse in this entire screen. So you can jot down whatever you are liking in the screen. You can just jot down the few points if you like. This is how a canvas actually looks. So when you take the entire course, actually, I will be working on each and individual hexagons with your business idea. So this is the in-depth of it. So that was the reason why when I say I do workshops of 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, this is the reason why, because we start with students. So if suppose you are enrolling in this course, so in innovation and entrepreneurship course, I will help you to start from building 1A, entrepreneurial mindset, and we'll have the entire journey 1A, 1B, 1C, 2, 3B. Opportunity identification. This is what you will be studying in the course. So if you are seeing, so let me start with it. If you see on the screen, the entire space is being divided into 9 hexagons, right? So if I segment it out, this much is first segment. I'll use a pen in that case. Hi, pen, yeah. This much is first segment, if I'm segmenting it out. First part of it, which is there in canvas. This much, which you see over here, is second part of it. And this much is third part of it. Let me use the pointer since I've already segmented it. So the first part is this. If I name it, 1 is entrepreneurial mindset. Second, we talk about your motivation, entrepreneurial motivation. Third, we'll talk about entrepreneurial behaviors. So what do? You learn to have your own entrepreneurial mindset. We understand why do you want to be an entrepreneur. We dig in. What are the motivations? Why do you want to start your own company? We dig into the crux. What makes you start your own company? And then entrepreneurial behavior. The test which I had given you, that has even been reflected in Innovation's Dilemma book, that actually shows, had you given more, had you have been a number of 30 to 40 at that time, that could have reflected your entrepreneurial behaviors, because entrepreneurial persons are basically out of the box thinkers. They make opportunity of any problem. They'll do something which is very much different. They challenge the status quo. They have their innate nature. The nature is something like that. Then we talk about the second part, that is in middle, which you can see, that is we'll then analyze. So once we have understood with the ideas, then one should actually talk about the industry conditions prevailing. So suppose if you are having an idea right now, taking COVID-19 in conditions, sanitizers are something which is very much eminent, or NPF masks. So this is coming in. What is the industry? Chemical industry is being involved. So what is the industry conditions at present? What is the industry status at the present? So at that time, we analyze individual policies as well as which government is providing, in that particular domain. What are the macroeconomic changes? So as a whole, so we are talking about economics over here. As a whole, what are the policies which the if it's Uganda, what are the policies which Ugandan policies, yeah, Ugandan government is actually coming up at this particular time for this particular industries. And then also a major chunk of competition we analyze. What are remaining competitions you are having? What are other competitions? At what price are they selling? How many competitors are there? What is their quality? How many customers they are able to feed? What is their supply chain? How they are able to connect to the customers? This is where you understand competition, right? So there is a complete analysis which we help you to do in the second section. And in the third section, this is one of the very beautiful section, how you are value innovation. It talks about value innovation, that is how you are able to, through the product which you come up in the market, through your product, how you are able to create value to society. So this is all about value innovation that will be talked in the course, as well as opportunity identification. So in case of opportunity identification, you need to carry out an entire feasibility analysis. So in the course, you will be taught about feasibility. There will be separate hours, like dedicated hours, which will help you to understand how to do this feasibility analysis, which will help you to find out the opportunity. So you are seeing right from beginning, if I'm talking about one, we were just talking of ideas. And eventually, as we crossed all the hexagons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, by the time we came to 9th hexagon, we are talking of opportunity. We are no more talking of ideas. This is what you will be learning, how to convert your ideas into opportunity in the course. Okay, let me take, I'll just, next slide. And let me just take some of the questions if there are. Yes, so since it's Canvas, well, the Canvas I can actually send, but send it to you in PDF as well. Important is how do you use that Canvas? That training is more important. So just focus on what's being taught. Don't worry about how to do this, how to do that. It will all come. It takes time. It takes time to understand. So yeah, so if I'm talking about the Canvas, it's been divided into 3 segments, as I said. In the first segment, I'll help you to think entrepreneurially. So through the 3 topics, through the 3 hexagons which were there on mindset, motivation, and behavior, I will help you how do you start thinking entrepreneurially, right? Then if I'm moving to the next hexagons, or to the next building blocks, we will talk about how do you see entrepreneurially? How do entrepreneurs actually look at? How do they look at the economy? How do they look at the industry? How do they look at competitors? How do they look at the entire status? So you'll start looking after taking the course. And then as you come to the next section, you will start acting entrepreneurially. How do you act? Because you have converted by that time through value curve understanding, through understanding of value curve, and through understanding of opportunity identification, you will be able to convert your ideas into opportunities. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Yes, now question can come, or this can arise in your mind. Where does the opportunity canvas fit? Why do I need to do this? What is the requirement of doing it? And only after making this kind of canvas can I start doing my own business. So these are some of the very obvious questions that comes into your mind. So this is exactly where the opportunity analysis canvas fits. This is the canvas which I talked about. The next is we will talk about business model canvas. Again, very interesting to learn, very beautiful topic. And finally you actually downgrade and finally you actually come to business plans. Again, a question, let us take up, let us make it interactive once again. I just want to know how many of you have developed your own business plans. Have you developed your business plans? Or do you know what does business plan mean? Anyone can just, as I said, you can just write down whatever comes in your mind. What do you mean by business plan? Anything, when any chats I'm getting? Okay, we can have Kamya. Yes. Maulik bhai, can you unmute Kamya? Maulik bhai? Okay, let me just check.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you unmute Kamya?
Yes, unmute yourself.
Kamya, you need to unmute yourself if you want to speak. Kamya, in your screen, there will be an unmute option. You can just unmute yourself.
Click on that microphone to unmute yourself, Mr. Kamya.
I'm sure there is some technical issue. We can take techno power. There is just one advice that is from my side. Whenever you come into webinars, join in with your actual names. So we can take a techno power. Maulik bhai, we can take techno power. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
You need to unmute yourself to speak. Where is the, yes, yes. Hello? Yeah, I can hear you. You need to speak. Okay, we can give it to someone who's versed with this. We can take Isa. Yeah. Isa, you can unmute yourself.
Isa, click on your microphone again. Good.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, a business plan is something like a written document containing goals, method on how these goals can be attained.
Okay, so I'm taking one point. A business plans has goals. That is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Goals is there, right? Any another?
Yeah.
Izanis is saying a business plan is a set of ideas by an individual that has been put down for implementation. So Izanis is saying they are set of ideas. Okay. Then Mukisa is saying, to me, a business plan is a document written before making a business to describe entry as well as exit as well as its aims. Okay. So it is, so everyone, if I'm seeing all the responses, every one of us know ki business plan is something which is a written document, and it has something to do with your ideas, it has something to do with your goals, and it has something to do your entry as well as exit strategy. So These are 2 to 5 points which are coming with everyone's response. If I say written a business plan is the most crucial document of your business, which if you are, I suppose you may have heard about crowdfunding, about angel investors, about venture capitalists and banks. So whenever you actually go forward, so if you're starting a business, you require fund. So initially you start with bootstrapping, that is you have your own fundings, so you have your own savings and then you are having fundings of your relatives, and whatever amount of funds you have gathered by your own self, that is known as bootstrapping. I once again mentioned, write it down somewhere, bootstrap. So starting we need bootstrapping, but eventually when you start enlarging when you start expanding your business, which is typically it comes in a third phase, that is also known as mezzanine phase. At that time you need more funds. How do you go? How do you ask for people for funds? Startups have their own networks. So there are special funding programs which have been done, which is also known as, there is one thing which is very much going on trend, that is crowdfunding. A common platform wherein a number of investors join and they listen to your pitch. So that is also known as elevator's pitch. So wherein you pitch your program within a very short period of time. So that is where it's known as, that is the need of business plan. So whenever you require a business plan, when you want to ask for funding in front of venture capitalists or angel investors, sometimes you can even get funding opportunities from bank. So what do they say? A very simple example which I give. Suppose you want a home loan. You want to buy your own house and you ask for bank for a loan. So do they give it to you straight away? No. They have the entire documentation process, right? So business plan is similar to that. It's an extensive 20 to 30 page entire summary of your business. It has a number of components, right from description, executive summary, company's name, patents, registration, pricing strategies, marketing strategies, budgets, operation costs, and what are your what is the difference in between angel investors and venture capital? Very interesting question. So angel investors are basically this thing has basically been used very much synonymously also, but angel investor is someone who will always guide you through. So you must have seen, so there are many programs. Whenever you get the opportunity, just watch Shark Tanks. Just take up any episode of Shark Tanks, and then you will literally see people talk of so many ideas, and in front of them, all of them are investors. It's a panel of 4 to 5 investors, right? Few of them become angel investors. So that person is actually taking, he will be purchasing equity share in your company. Not only he buys equity, also he mentors you. So that you should, because maybe he's an industry expert in that particular domain, right? So in that case, he becomes your angel investor, one sole person. However, whenever we talk of venture capitalists, there are a group of people who are involved. So they have their own firms. So there are venture capital firms. There are many investors who are involved in venture capital firm. So maybe a group of 4 to 5 investors, they have this much, they talk about, okay, I'll have 6% stake, maybe I'll have 10% stake, maybe I'll have 15 to 20% stake, and all of them together, they will invest in your company. So whenever we talk of angel investors, it's just single one person who is also mentoring you, and venture capitalist is more like a group funding whenever we look upon. Venture capitalists are more when you talk about crowdfunding sources. Okay. So yes, we were in business plan, right? So to arrive at business plan, this was the thing which I was sharing with you. Yes. So this is your business plan. Just imagine. But To come to this, first, we actually help you to understand opportunity analysis canvas we do, as well as we'll help you to make the entire business model canvas. This is another business model canvas. What it is, this will be taking in the next section. And after that, how do you make your own business plan? This also we will help you to understand what is business plan, how can you have your own ideas, you can convert them into a business plan. So key highlights of that section, the previous section, was business models can take shape once idea is conceived. So it's very important to have ideas. Without idea itself, no business models nor customer discovery can begin. It is the first step, that idea generation steps, that opportunity canvas fulfills as an innovative tool for identifying and analyzing entrepreneurial ideas. So as I said, in this course, you will start learning from canvas, how to make your own canvas, how to make your own business model, and then how to make an entire business plan. Let me take some questions and then we'll go over to our, well, it's the last topic, but it's very interesting. One more interesting topic, that is business models. Yeah, very interesting question which comes up from Isa. What is the difference in between business plan and business idea? I'll show you where you are when you are talking of business plan and where you are when you are talking of business ideas. So when you are talking of ideas, you are here. This is where you are standing when you are talking of ideas. When you talk of entire business plan, you have completed and your entire journey and you have reached here. This is your business plan. To make your business plan, it's not a day's time. It takes a lot of efforts, and it's also very interesting as well as challenging as well. But you learn many things at the same time. Yeah, so okay, let me turn on my video. Business models. You must have seen there are a number of courses, there are a number of people's practitioners who focus a lot on business model canvas. And you are like, I really thank Victoria University as well as Ganpat University who have given me this opportunity to make you understand what are basically business model canvas. Very beautifully and very interesting canvases, and it's like we can spend, there could be endless hours of discussions when we actually start working on this canvas. So I still remember when I was doing this, as I said, I'm doing a number of workshops. So when I was doing a workshop with my students, so it was an morning 9 a.m. workshop and it went till evening 5, and we had students, so we had chart papers and number of stickers and sticky marks, and a lot of brainstorming was going on. And you won't believe, even when we ended this workshop, all of us were so excited because all of us had brainstormed, and this model is so interesting and so energetic by itself that it really brings out so many challenges and so many points that, oh, I should have thought of this, oh, I should have thought of this. So it's very beautifully carved. So let me just take you through what the entire model and canvas actually looks like. It's possibly beyond my frame, keeping the time limits in mind. I will just try to touch upon what it actually looks like, and I would try that you have actually an interest is created in all of you. So let's look forward and move towards our well, in today's webinar, this will be the last segment which I'll be talking on. Yes. So business model. So a model is basically described as a rationale of how an organization creates, delivers, and captures value in economic, social, and cultural context. You just need to think this is just like a rationale wherein if we don't talk of an organization, it's you as an entrepreneur. How will an entrepreneur create, deliver, and capture value? How do they do that? So this is how it looks. Before going with how it looks, we'll talk about what are different business models which could be developed. Okay, this again needs a bit of understanding and what we will be doing in the course. Okay, now students are having a number of business ideas, right? You are in this stage that you must be having a number of ideas. Your idea could be a product, right? Your idea could be a service. Suppose for example, in COVID-19, what if I improve my services in supply chain? And if I start delivering, so there are many people who are facing the issues of food. So hotels are right now, they are closed. So I can just give them, I can make the homemade food. If someone is a good chef, I can make homemade food. And if I get an idea that I start my own delivery system of supplying homemade food to the community. That's an idea. Well, that becomes a service. What if my idea is if I want to sell a subscription? What if you are coming up with idea wherein you want to license a technology? I have a number of students, technopreneurs, who are belonging to disciplines of computer technology, information technology, and they want to come up and they start thinking of coming up with new applications, right? Or so at that time we need patents for licensing that particular technology. Okay, and then what if someone actually talks about advertising, or it could be even a hybrid model of all those. So depending upon your product, you will be able to have developed a business model. This is what it means. So your idea, whatever your idea is, separate business models could be developed by you. If it's a product, business model is different. Service, it has different business model. Subscription, if it's a technology, if it's into advertising, and even if it's a hybrid of any of the above, 2 or 3 hybrids, that could also be developed in the course. So to that extent, we actually handhold the students or the candidates who will be taking up this course. So the first thing that we ask is their ideas. And by the time they end the course, they will be coming up with entire business plan and business opportunity as well. So let us talk about the canvas and how does it looks. Yes, this is canvas. You can just, as I said, whenever I present some canvases, I always want you to take 1 to 2 minutes to really immerse yourself in all the words, pictures, components, parts which you are seeing in this canvas. And I'll give you 1 minute of time. After doing canvas, I can take up questions if you have, because so there will be a connecting flow. You can even take your notes. You can jot down somewhere what this canvas looks like. What is it all about? We'll see. So moving further, I need a pen. Okay. So if you see, there are total, this segment we will be taking first. We'll be talking about value proposition, then we'll talk about customer segments, we'll talk of channels, and we'll talk about customer relations. These 4 we'll talk first. Then we will talk about the next 4. What is revenue streams? What do you mean by key activities? What are key resources? What does key partner mean? And finally, what is the cost structure? So these are 5. So whenever you make a business model canvas, this 4 should be done first, and then we move over to those 5. Let us take one by one individually. Value proposition. So value is something, there's no great substitute for a great value proposition. In my normal class, I would have made it a bit more interactive. I could have done it keeping in framework of the time which we are having. Value proposition is something. What do you mean by value proposition? Is it your product? Is product your value proposition? Anyone? What do you understand by value proposition? So what is value proposition? Is it your product or service which you are offering? No, value is not product or service which you are offering. What is the benefit that customer is getting? That is value proposition. It is bundle of benefits or advantages which a customer is actually getting. Those of you who are actually in commerce section must be knowing FAB analysis, that is features, advantage and benefit whenever we talk about a product or a service. So value, whenever we talk about, we never talk about feature, we talk about its benefits. We talk about B section, that is what are the benefits that customers are actually having. So these benefits could either be of 2 types. So either these benefits could be quantitative benefits, like your price, you're giving it at low price, or there is a cost reduction from that of market, or risk reduction, so your product is very safe to use. Or convenience, it's very convenient, it is easily available at all the stores. Yes, that is value proposition. Or usability, it is very easy to use. I still have people who say me Android is very easy to use. So yeah, their value proposition is usability. Then it could even be in terms of quality. So in case of quality, your value proposition could be, just jot it down somewhere, could be newness of the product, could be performance, very effective, very good in performance. You talk of Ford, you talk of Volvo. So whenever we talk of Ford, Volvo, performance is something we are talking of. Design or brand, obviously, why not? A brand is basically value proposition. That is what Apple has created for itself, or Uber has created for itself. It's coming up with an entire brand. Or customization, how many customized products you're having. For example, HP laptops, customized laptops they are giving. Dell, customized laptops. So these all are basically the value proposition. So when I take, okay, there is a chat. Can be additions attached to a particular product. So Lillian is saying value proposition is additions attached to a particular product. No, value proposition is your product. Your product, what is the benefit your product is having to customers? There is no addition. It's just basic your product. How can you convey the benefits of your product to customers? That is what value proposition actually means. Yeah, so this is how entire thing. So what are the things? Where did you hear about it? Is it going to solve my problem? Is your product going to solve my problem? It's about satisfying a customer's need. And who are your customers? Okay, so that is all about value proposition. Next, we talk about, okay, so this next segment, we'll talk about customer segment. Where do you find your customers? So your customers do not exist to buy, you exist for them. No, that is a wrong philosophy. Don't have that philosophy. If you do your homework well, as who are your customers, why do they want, if you segment your customers into if you want to cater your product to mass customer segment, so you can just jot down these 4 things, and you can even search even more. That first thing I'm talking about is mass segmentation. Is your product one product to all? Do you want to have those kind of products? Or you're moving towards niche segment? You focus on a particular set of people. I want to come up with products only for, I want to come up with halal products, halal beauty products. One particular segment will take. Why not? It will work, because that particular segment of beauty segment, no one is there. Then it could be segmented customers. It could even be diversified segments. So these are basically 4 ways wherein you can actually customer segmentation could be done. Then we talk of channels. Channels is basically the third important component. That is how company, now your product is here. Just imagine, let me use a pointer to make you understand it more. Your product is here. Yeah. So we started with here. This was your product. Then we talked about customer segment. Now, you want to take your product from here to customer. You need a channel, right? So channel is basically how company communicates and reaches to its customer segment. How are you reaching? How can you reach to your customer segment? So someone actually, Fred even mentioned, do you want to go on with the standard brick and mortar? So do you want to continue with your typical brick and mortar? See, so what is brick and mortar? Is basically retail segment wherein you produce, you design, you brand, and then you sell. Everything you only do. That is simple brick and mortar. For me, it's very important that the words are not important. The understanding behind it is more important. So my aim is always to make you understand easily. So that is basically brick and mortar. So do you want to go on with a brick and mortar style? Do you want to sell your products and give it to big groceries, Walmarts? And in now case, do you want to sell your product in Amazon or not? I have a friend of mine, he was into business of, in India is basically known for spices business, right? Spices are very strong in Indian market. So he used to manufacture asafoetida, right? So, and during the lockdown, he wasn't able to physically distribute. So he was facing a lot of logistics issue. That, I guess, that is the same problem with a number of manufacturing industry, be it India, be it Africa. The problem remains one and the same, keeping curfew in mind and the pandemic in mind. So what he started doing, he started selling it in Amazon. Why not? They have their own market share. They have their own market over there. The entire world is going online right now. It worked for him. So that is where you have to analyze what will work out for you and how much, because everything has an implied cost. So cost is also something which you need to start thinking on. Or you can develop your own website, and then a beautiful website, and then you can actually send mailers across to all the people who are interested in your customers, right? So you can actually look onto each and every channel. So there are a number of channel mix, which we often say in marketing terms, it is actually known as channel mix. Having a proper channel mix is something which you need to judicially talk about. Yes. Next. Okay. So where does this go? So this is like a story, you started with your products, you identified customers, you reached to them through channels. Now, did the customer actually like your product? How do you get it? That is through customer relationships. Each and every company should have its own well-established customer relationships. Could be either how do you get customer relationship? You can have feedback system. It can even be through mobile. It could be physical as well. But you should always try that the viral loop gets going. And if someone asks me, what do you mean by viral loop? This is basically more and more customers talking about your product. Just like you can write it down or note it down somewhere. When more and more customers starts talking about your product, this goes viral, and this is a viral loop. Then we talk about, so we have completed this much segment. All the 4 segments are done. Now we'll talk about the next segment, that is revenue streams. Now, in case of revenue streams, when I talk of revenue, I will be discussing, or I'll be helping you out to understand everything about sales. So we have the basic formula. If I'm sure many of them are from finance, they are having this thing, revenue minus revenue or sales minus, if we are talking of cost, will give you profit. This is a standard equation. So whenever I'm talking of revenue, I'm basically talking about what are the opportunities which I am having, which will assure the company's sale. How do I do that? So generally, if I'm doing through advertising, will the sales be assured? Through licensing, is it assured? Or if I want to follow a hybrid model. And again, I need to do a competitor analysis at the same time. So competitor analysis is important. That will assure how much remaining customers. So this answer will come through competition analysis. Again, how is competition analysis done? That you can understand from the entire course. Revenue models, what do you mean by various revenue models? Based upon revenue models, you actually need to determine the pricing strategy. There are different pricing strategies which are already available, whether you want to go on with the low cost, whether you want to have a premium pricing. So there are different things that one needs to keep in consideration whenever one is actually talking about the revenue stream. Again, whether my revenue is one-time revenue or it's just recurring revenue, that is also one needs to think upon. After revenue, resources, key resources. So in case of key resources, this is basically important assets which is required in order to make a business model work. Trust me, assets is not only finance. So it's like, this is where most of the young entrepreneurs actually get confused. Initially, they think, okay, we need funding. When I want to start something of my own, where will I get money for it? It's not only the money thing which you need to think about. Money thing is, you have to think about whenever you want to raise money, what is your line of credit? Yes. But apart from that, physical things are something which you have to think upon. As in, wherein your manufacturing unit will be set up, what are the machines you are installing, where do you acquire from them, what are the vehicles you are requiring for logistics, intellectual property right, obviously when your products needs to be patented if it is in field of technology. So, or else you will find the entire, so you have pour in a lot of hard work in finding out something, and immediately the next day your only friend came up with a similar kind of product and he starts selling it in the market. What do? You can't do anything. You need patents, you need intellectual property right to safeguard your inventions or innovations. Humans is something which is very interesting. I would like to say, because I've seen from an HR point of view, the employees who work for any startup business. So usually any startup business don't have more than 5 to 7 people. That's more than enough. 5 to 7 employees, just in the beginning I'm talking of, when they start their own venture. But these people, the team which they built, they are so you need to find the right team, right? That is also very much important. One of the angel investors said in one of the funding opportunity that whenever I want to invest in a particular company, I always see who is the co-founder and how is his team, right? Why? Because it's the team's dedication. It's everyone's hard work, dedication, passion that is actually needed in case of successfully having launching a particular product and also having success in business. So you can be very intelligent. There was I still remember he's my mentor, and he says that you don't need to be highly qualified or highly intelligent to start something. You need imagination and if and secondly, you need hard work and dedication. Things will fall in place. So it's the team which actually makes a business successful, which makes a startup successful. So in that case, humans becomes very important. So humans are basically an asset, and it shouldn't be taken as an, so for any startup founder, human shouldn't be taken as attention. Oh my goodness, I need to recruit some good people. So no, you actually need to invest your time in, because if you invest in people, it's definitely sure they will be investing in your company. Okay. If we go on to the next is resources. We talked about partners. Okay, so key partners are basically, let me just, it seems the video is not turning off. So key partners. So where do you get key partners from? Okay, is it always possible that you are perfect in everything? No, it's not at all possible, right? And is it always necessary that you have to do everything? No, it's not at all necessary that you need to do everything, right? So in that cases, partnership becomes very important. So you need to have so partnerships could be of different form, could be either joint venture, could be in form of a buyer supplier relationship. So suppliers are your key stakeholders. They become your key partners eventually. There could even be strategic alliances between the companies. So there are a number of key partnerships that could be involved, which is required for developing your own business. So you need to figure out that as well. Key activities. Key activities is something which I would wish you to take before key partners, because key activities are in any in entire process, there are some critical steps which are required. Very important critical step. For example, a critical product could be for acquiring a particular product. Without use of that product, you can't manufacture. So that becomes the supply of that particular raw material becomes your key activity. So that is basically key activities. In case of production, or it could even be, if it's a process, then it could even be consulting. And then it could even be supply chain. Logistics could also be your key activities. And then the cost. Cost is something that is let me just check. Let me just move further. It's getting stagnant. Yes. Now, cost is basically, this was what I was even saying it before, that you could either be a low cost provider, you could even be a premium cost provider. However, in case of cost, what are your important costs? So what are the important costs which you are taking into consideration? Where all are your expenses? Where is your expenses coming and going? You need to find budget. So budget preparation is again very important thing, which is for commerce students and management students, budget preparation, I'm sure of them, they will be covering budget, how to prepare the projects, and finance management as a subject. But what if you are a techno entrepreneur and your background is from computer engineers? But still, you need to prepare your own budget, right? So cost structure becomes very much important. Yeah. So I hope you are actually understanding so we started from ideas, where we were, and then we went upon to the opportunity analysis canvas, and then we saw the business model. So now you are understanding how many things you need to think before making your business plan. It is indeed a very in-depth understanding you need to have on various aspects. So these, so like the business BMC, that is the business model canvas, has 8 different components. The opportunity analysis canvas has 9 different components which you go through. After going through all of them, you finally come up and think about a business plan. How do you document it? And then the business plan actually comes up. I'll be concluding with the last portion of segment. And if you are having any doubts in business model canvas, in opportunity analysis canvas, or in any of the flow, whatever we have gone through, you can just pour it in the chat box as well, or in the question and answer section. I'll be taking it in shortly. So the course of innovation and entrepreneurship, which I have been talking about very actively throughout the webinar, I will be having our approach for this course is threefold. What will be discussed is, I'm clearly telling you what is my approach for this course. First is, I'll help you how to explore, identify, develop great ideas into great companies. So this course will help you to turn your great ideas into great companies. So I'm not talking only about ideas. I'm talking about making your ideas, giving it a reality. Second, it will be talking about examining how to identify opportunities that are based on real and true customer needs. We will be discussing on how to tap those opportunities. How do I convert your ideas and convert them into business viable opportunities? Third, we'll discuss methods for developing solid business models for creation of successful and sustainable companies. That was one of the reasons why I had shown you the canvas as well as the business model canvas, the opportunity analysis canvas as well as the business model canvas. So both of them are really solid framework. And once you understand both of them, you will be able to create your own successful as well as sustainable companies. So if you are a people having wonderful ideas, if you are a person who's got lots of ideas, who wants to do something, who wants to give to this nation, who wants to give back to his society, who wants to establish something of their own, this is the course very suitable for all of you. This is how the entire framework of the course looks like. It has its total 40-hour course, dedicated 40 hours course it is, and right from introduction part to, you will be having, these are the various chapters which you will be having. That is, we'll talk about how do I develop your mindset, motivation, behaviors. We'll talk about specific industries which are very much relevant to your business ideas. We will be talking about customer understanding. We'll talk about how to do marketing. We'll talk about what are the go-to marketing strategies, how to do business modeling. There will be an introduction, and also we will have an introduction as well as an entire chapter dedicated 9 hours of how to make your own business plan. So if you do this course at the end, so you start, that is the reason why I say you start with an idea and you end with an entire company. So this is the crux as well as the depth, or as well as the entire analysis of the course. And I'm really very hopeful and looking forward to see you all, to see all the interested candidates with great ideas, with great innovation. Let us come forward and make something good of it. So I'll stop sharing. That is how I end my today's webinar content. We can take up few questions.
Well done, Professor Remy. Well done. And I'm sure participants have enjoyed. At one point we had reached 27. I don't know where they disappeared. I wonder if it was connectivity issues. Okay. But I request them to spread word that more webinars in various courses are going to come through. Kindly share us with your number so that we include you on the WhatsApp page so that you can share the proceedings. Otherwise, kindly bring on your questions. You may choose to raise your hand, or you may choose to type it in the chat box so that we use the next 1 or 2, 3 minutes resourcefully and take advantage of the skills Professor Remy has. Thank you. Well done. Participants, please bring on your questions.
So, Mukesa is having one question. Please explain to me about costs. So in case of cost, there are different cost strategies which are involved depending upon the product or service which you want to offer or you want to come up with. So some of the strategies could be low cost strategies. Some of the strategy could be premium cost strategy. So in case of low cost strategy, one such strategy is like, I'm keeping my cost of product. For example, I want to sell this pen. So I'm keeping my cost of product lower than the market. So it will automatically sell as it's low cost, right? However, if I can also keep it premium pricing and make this pen as a 100 INR pen. Right. And why, and this can also sell depending upon the value proposition that I am giving to customers, because it will have added advantages which won't be present in a low cost product. So you can have any other strategies could be worked out, and cost requires, whenever you develop cost of a product, or basically cost will actually help you to develop the price of a product. So these are the costs which are being incurred, and according to it, with this much profit, so I had shown you the equation as well. So this much profit I want to maintain, so I'm keeping my price of the product this much, multiplied by the total number of units sold in a particular quarter, that gives me the revenue. Okay. In chat,
Someone had asked about a market share. Was it each days or something like that? Yes.
okay, so in case market share, one should do market share analysis. Market share analysis is being done through competition analysis. So usually you need to chart it down the number of competitors which you are having in a particular segment, and you can actually get this by their annual report. Individual competitors so they are being supposed to declare their annual report, right? So the annual report actually will say about last quarter how much amount of goods they were able to sell and how much profit they actually they did over last year. So only you will get over last year analysis statistics you will get. Once you have received all, you just need to put it in an Excel and you need to analyze all the competitions. Then make a pie chart out of it. You will understand who is the dominating person and how much percentage of share individual. For example, there are 10 companies in one particular industry segment, right? So for an example, I'm taking in case of plastic companies. So plastic companies in Uganda, especially if I'm talking of Kampala taking. So there are how many industries are there in plastic companies in Kampala? So there, I suppose for an example, there are 10 companies. So 10 companies pie chart, their share over last quarter will help me to understand, okay, this much is the market. This is competition which is there. Once I know the competition, it becomes very easier for me to penetrate the market, because since if I talk of entrepreneurship, I am new to market, I'm starting something. So I need to understand what competitors are doing, at what price they are selling to the products, what else are they giving along with the product, so to place my product. Yes. Okay, so I'll take one more question. Okay, thank you, Lillian. I hope Isa's question I have answered, and I take one more question of Izani's. Yes. So with case of KFC, they have one product for entire mass, or basically they have a range of product, but basically it is one range of set, right? But if you see the product itself is their selling, right? It's the product. It's like everyone wants to have a burger. So KFC actually thought, so that was where McDonald's had placed themselves, right? Having a burger, you just go, you drive, have a burger, have a Coke, have a fries, and that's it. This was how McD had placed. But what did KFC do? KFC started thinking about fried chickens as well as how to sell them, right? So they came up with the same variant in a non-veg version of it. It started having market, plus the number of units that they are opening in each and every city. So they are able to replicate their model. So what the advantages of having one product for everyone is like they are able to replicate in different places. So that is basically an added advantage. You don't need to have more. So there is a fixed, definite set of product. You know how the supply chain will work, and then you just need to ensure the logistics, and that's it. Across, so they were able, and it's not only they were able to replicate across the cities, across countries, as well as across the continents as well, and they have also adapted to the changes of different continents also. So yeah.
Okay, thank you very, very much. And probably you may want to tell them KFC is also dealing in something that everyone must wish to consume. It's handy, you can easily pick it, you don't want to waste time, and so that helps a lot. So I want to thank all the participants, unless there is something urgent, but I hope every one of you is giving a round of applause to Professor Remy in particular, and Ganpat at large. I also want to thank, I see some of my students, I see Shahrukh over there, they are enjoying your presentation. Probably all will go well, and I will come up for the other webinars and the eventual enrollment of the particular program. Thank you so much for attending, and probably until we meet again, I want to imagine tomorrow Professor Remy will learn to take back her chair. I will take it back another time. It was a bit hot, but I hope I managed. I hope I was able to fit in your shoes. But it was very, very resourceful. Thank you so much. Let's meet again tomorrow at the same time, 11:30. There will be another webinar. It's going to be advertised, and please don't miss because it's something worthy attending. And the rest of the webinars up to the 17th, you should be able to attend and take advantage of this free knowledge, and eventually reach out to another person to enroll for the course if they can't actually come up for these webinars. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Maulik bhai, you can close.
Yes, ma'am.